psychologists across different nations to understand the individual behavior in different societies. Okay, so we'll start with the attitude and their different components. Okay, what is an attitude? So in social psychology, the term attitude is defined as a predisposition involving beliefs, your feelings, your dispositions to act towards some objects. Or these objects can be anything. It could be a person, it could be a group, it could be an idea, or it could be an object. So basically, if you study the social psychology, the researches in social psychology, you may find that in recent years, psychologists are moving towards a conception of attitude as a evolution, and evolutions are related in a complex ways to beliefs, feelings, and our actions. So in that way, like we can say that attitudes are simply evolutions of objects or attitudinal objects. So in that case, attitude have two major components or two major characteristics. One is, as I mentioned, that attitude are relatively stable, and another is attitudes are dispositional. When I'm saying attitudes are relatively stable, it means what? Any idea? Anyone wants to say about that? Attitudes are relatively stable.
So probably they don't change easily.
Don't change easily. Okay. Once you form an attitude towards any object or person or group, it's difficult to change it. Your temporary mood states or like your emotional states cannot change your attitude. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है, like sometimes as a father, as a mother, we tend to get angry towards your children when they are coming late at home, which is not indicative at all of our attitude as a father or as a mother. वो हमारा attitude नहीं है, but it's a temporary state of our mind. We are angry because of certain issues, certain other dimensions.
The attitude isn't it a perception about something you we make a belief that if this is happening, so this is the reason. I mean, the cause and effect process. Sometimes because of that, we make a belief, and that belief changes into a attitude of our opinion or our behavior towards somebody, some personality, some people.
See, attitude basically, we can say that it is a set of your thought process, your feelings, your actions that you hold on relatively a long-term basis. Once you form an attitude, you have a tendency to persist it over a time across the different situations. When I'm saying, जैसे कि आपने mention किया that attitude is a kind of a perception. It's not a perception; it's a predisposition.
Okay.
Perception क्या होता है? आपने psychology में पढ़ा होगा. What is perception? Any idea?
How we achieve things regarding any person, place, or
How we
anything about that. How we perceive things.
perceive things. So what that perceive means?
Opinions.
Your opinion. Okay. Anybody
अपनी
else?
past experience
What we
के
think about anybody,
thought बनाएंगे
anything, any person,
किसी भी
our
चीज
thoughts
के
for
ऊपर
anything or any person.
what we
Sir,
see and think.
sir, I think it's like what we assume or what we perceive based on the past
So
and
probably the
When you make assumptions based on past
and
experiences,
social
that is
norms.
perception.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
so
I
probably
think
So you are
what we see and understand.
what you will see and understand. That is perception. Pakka?
so whatever stimulus we get,
Mhm.
how our mind imagines that stimulus to be is probably our perception. That's what my assumption is.
Okay.
Because the same thing and same situation can be perceived by different people in different ways. So same stimulus can be perceived by two individuals in different ways. So probably the mental picture that we make based on the stimuli that we are getting.
Okay. What is sensation? Any idea? Sensation क्या होता है?
तो हमारे सेंसरी ऑर्गन्स से हमें जितनी भी इनपुट्स मिलती हैं वो सेंसेशंस हैं.
Okay. So when we use our different sense organs to receive information from the environment, right?
Yes.
So when you give meaning to your sensation, that become perception. As you have mentioned that one stimuli can be perceived differently by different people. Why? Because everyone have their own mental capability to give meaning to their sensation. So when you start giving meaning to your sensation is called or it become perception. Okay. So it is not an attitude which is perceived by a person. So attitude is relatively a stable phenomena which is very much predispositional in nature. When I'm saying dispositional, what it mean? Because attitude is a kind of a characteristics of an individual, right? वो आपका एक characteristic है. Attitude जो है वो आपका एक characteristics है. And as a psychologist or as a student of a psychology, we tend to believe that every individual have their own strengths and every individual is different from the other person. हम मानते हैं नहीं मानते? Individual differences exist.
So
Yes, sir.
I feel the word individual means this only.
Right. So by dispositional, I'm mean to say that in the attitudes are the characteristics of an individual and people different in their terms of strength from one another and depending upon the person's socialization and social interaction capabilities. ठीक है, याद रहेगा? These are the two main important characteristics of attitude. One is relatively stable and another important feature that is dispositional. Attitudes are always dispositional. And how this attitude works basically. Before getting into the functions of attitude, I'll what are the main components of attitude? Any idea? What are the different components of attitude? Hmm? एटीट्यूड कैसे बनता है? हाँ, और सिंपल है. ABC मॉडल ऑफ एटीट्यूड. affective, behavior, cognition. So first, your cognition involve your thinking process, affective, your feeling process, and behavioral. There are three major important domains or the structure, or you can say the components of attitude. One is cognition, cognitive, affective, and behavioral. Cognitive component क्या है? Basically, it represent your belief system that one individual has about an attitude towards the object, how you are evaluating the other person, object, idea, or events. This your evaluation can be positive or negative in nature.
So that is not called perception.
See, now
How to evaluating other person, this is not called perception.
that is your cognition, how you are evaluating things. If I'm asking you, okay, tell me your what ideology you are particularly follow in terms of political parties in India, like what is good and what is bad. Definitely you might evaluate the political parties in terms of their ideologies, their maybe their working style, or maybe the personality cut of the leaders. You start evaluating the political parties based on certain parameters. So that cognition is very much important. When I'm saying cognition, means higher order process of your mental abilities. Then affective, your emotional part, your feeling part, like what you feel about the particular object or attitudinal object. वो फीलिंग कहाँ आती है, कैसे डेवलप होती है? When you start communicating, when you start socializing with the others, when you start talking about the attitudinal object to the others. And third is actual behavior. जो आपका एटीट्यूड है वो आपके बिहेवियर में दिखता है, झलकता है. If you have a positive attitude about someone, then definitely your behavioral would be favorable. And if you don't if you don't feel like comfortable, or if you don't feel like if you have a negative feeling or evaluated the object or the person, definitely your behavior will be unfavorable toward the particular object or event, or maybe the idea. So these are the three major important components of the attitude.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. सर
हम्म,
आपने कहा एटीट्यूड का फंक्शन नहीं है, सॉरी, एटीट्यूड का कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है रिलेटिवली स्टेबल.
हाँ हाँ,
तो सर रिलेटिवली स्टेबल मीन्स उसका बेसिक नेचर, किसी पर्सन का, किसी का बेसिक नेचर.
नहीं, आपके एटीट्यूड का, आप जो एटीट्यूड जो एटीट्यूड होता है वो आपका रिलेटिवली स्टेबल होता है. वो आप आपके टेम्परेरी मूड पे, या वो जल्दी चेंज नहीं होता है. वंस यू फॉर्म एन एटीट्यूड टुवर्ड्स एनी पर्सन और एनी ऑब्जेक्ट, ठीक है, अगर आपने एक बार एटीट्यूड फॉर्म कर लिया तो वो लॉन्ग टर्म तक रहता है.
But sir, by age or by work environment, or sometimes because of some issues, it won't change.
बिल्कुल चेंज हो सकता है. तभी तो मैंने कहा रिलेटिवली स्टेबल, मैंने परमानेंट स्टेबल नहीं कहा मैंने. मैंने स्टेबल वर्ड नहीं किया, रिलेटिवली मैंने एक वर्ड यूज किया है.
ओके ओके.
It doesn't
सर
mean
क्या
that
हम
attitude do not change. They do change in the
can
light of experiences and the information.
can we understand it like this, that attitude is a result of a lot many experiences over a long period of time or lifetime, and therefore it takes time to form and takes time to change?
You can say that. Okay, attitude बनता ही आपके experiences से है ना, और experiences आप किस तरीके से gain करते हैं.
जी.
हम्म,
तो बनने में भी वक्त लगता है और बदलने में भी वक्त लगता है.
बिल्कुल.
So that's why we define it as relatively stable.
Right. ऐसा नहीं कि attitude change नहीं होता है, बदलता नहीं है, बिल्कुल
जी,
बदलता है.
जी, जी. But over a period of time, not
बट ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, जब आप
over a
न्यू
period.
एक्सपीरियंसेस आपको होते हैं या नई इन्फॉर्मेशन जब आपको मिलती है ना,
जी.
अबाउट द पर्टिकुलर ऑब्जेक्ट और जिसके बारे में आपका एटीट्यूड आपने चेंज करना चाहते हैं, वो चेंज हो जाता है.
So it is a slow process, slow to develop, slow to change.
हाँ, इट डिपेंड्स पर्सन टू पर्सन ऑल्सो, बिकॉज
Yes.
क्योंकि सब हर पर्सन की अपनी एक स्ट्रेंथ है, अपनी
जी.
अपना एक वे ऑफ प्रोसेसिंग है इंफॉर्मेशन को करने का.
Out of my general readings,
Like what are the functions of attitude, like
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
like what are the basic functions of our attitude, how attitude help us in
So
our
my
day-to-day life.
yeah, the general perception is that it's a part of our survival kit given to us by nature,
Okay.
so that we can judge things quickly, right or wrong, judge things quickly and act on them fast, because every time we do not have time and available resources to judge the situations, people, or things peacefully.
Okay. Anybody else? Now, how attitude is helpful in our day-to-day functioning?
It gives vision to visualize the things and understand the circumstantial situations.
Okay. Anybody else?
When the person understands somebody else's attitude, it will be easy to deal with the person.
So first of all, like attitude basically help us to establish our own identities. Attitude will provide you the self-definition. With the help of attitude, you can define yourself. Because attitude is a central element of our own notion about ourselves. Why we know about the other persons like Vivekananda, Mahatma Gandhi, Sundarlal Bahuguna.
Can we call it a cornerstone of our personality?
Bilkul. Because of their attitude towards the others, because of their what we think about ourselves.
We can say that when we have to define somebody, including ourselves, the important thing is definition of the attitude.
See, not about defining others. When you define yourself, so what you think about yourself is shaped by your own attitude.
Got it.
So attitude will also help you in your thinking and behavioral aspects.
Right.
When as I mentioned earlier, because attitude जो components हैं वो आपके cognitive और behavioral दोनों ही हैं. So attitude आपको guide करता है it become a guiding principle in your thinking and behavior. Attitude also plays a very important role at the societal level also. To establish a peace and harmony in society or in the community at a larger level, your attitude plays an important role, because society is made up of people from different communities, different culture, and if you have a negative attitude towards the others, or definitely it might cause a chaos, or it might lead to a negative attitude towards the other, which might lead to stereotype or discrimination. And sometimes attitude also provide some kind of basis for defining the social groups, because sometimes member of a particular group share a similar kind of attitude, and that attitude bind them together. आपने देखा होगा छोटे छोटे जो एक्टिविस्ट होते हैं, sometimes people who are with the same notion or thought process towards the environmental protections, they come up and define their own set of group or organizations.
So what joins them with each other is their common attitude.
Yeah, common attitude, common set of mind.
So may I ask a question which is slightly away from the subject that we are discussing right now? Just a little time back, we attended the other online class of Dr. Gopal Chand. And he said that I'm not going to teach. It is going to be simply a question answer session. Whereas in your session, you are teaching us very properly. So, what can we expect from the classes? Your kind of classes or his kind of question answer sessions?
See, it's very difficult to say, because okay, I'll tell you. I'll give you the answer of this question after the class.
Right, sir.
No.
Thank you. And sorry for asking a slightly different question.
No, it's okay, fine. It's completely fine. No problem.
I was a little confused because he was very particular about it, that I am not going to teach anything. I am only going to answer questions.
Okay. कोई बात नहीं, ठीक है.
Yeah. Thank you.
ठीक है. Just hold on. Can I take a call just for a minute? Huh? Okay, fine. Yes. Do you think that attitude can be measurable, or we can measure the attitude? As a psychology student, or as a do you think that attitude can be measured?
Yes, sir.
How?
There must be some measurement skills which help to measure the attitudes, like how the person react in particular situation. That will tell about his attitudes. Like in the defense, we have that exams of WAT and TAT. So how the person is responding.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. We can also say that how often there is a change in the attitude of a person. We can measure accordingly.
Okay. Just hold on. Just another.
Sir, we can't hear you.
He's attending a call, I think.